Ever since the start of the college football season, everyone's been asking one question. Is Texas back? And while it's fair to ask that, no one is giving enough praise and attention to the most shocking team that might actually be back. The Kansas Jayhawks. Coming off their first 2-0 start since 2011 and their first opening in-conference win since 2009, Kansas is playing a quality of football that we haven't seen from them in over a decade. They went from scrapping their way to 2 wins last year to displaying a balanced offensive attack that could rival anyone across the country. And I'm here to say that they're not done yet. I'm Kevin Redfield from the Dropout Sports. Feel free to like this video and sub to the channel, and let's get right into it. The philosophy and success of this team, predictably enough, comes from their head coach, Lance Leipold. From winning 5 Division III national championships in 8 years at Wisconsin Whitewater to building the University of Buffalo up to have their only ranked season ever, Leipold is a man that knows how to win and knows how to rebuild a program. I mean, with UB, he took a program that once in a while won over 6 games and led them on a 3-year stretch where they went 24-10. Now at Kansas, Leipold is displaying those same rebuilding skills he showcased at those 2 previous programs. 2021 didn't really allow him to do much, and I mean, starting from scratch for a coach is rarely going to yield any success. But towards the end of that season, we saw Leipold and company find their identity. Before that fabled 10th game against Texas, the Jayhawks just couldn't really establish an identity for themselves. They were losing by an average of 31.5 points per game, and their depth chart was ever rotating, even at the QB position. But in that 10th game, something just flipped for the Jayhawks. Jalon Daniels was given the full-time start in that game, and he positively took over. 247 total yards, 4 total touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Their pass and run games were balanced. They forced 4 turnovers. And in a tick-for-tack game, they just had a little more magic.
Daniels, flushed. Daniels, end zone, caught! Kansas wins it!
In their last 2 games, Kansas only lost by 9 total points. And Daniels held down that field general starting position and took that mindset into this season. Now, throughout 2 games, we're seeing what a true Kansas Leipold offense really looks like. Heavy on the pistol and shotgun, and almost 50-50 balance between the pass and the run, and a quarterback that can offer serious danger in the air and on the ground. Speaking of that very quarterback, I want to talk about Jalon Daniels because I'm telling you right now, you need to remember that name. Coming in Les Miles' last recruiting class from Kansas in 2020, Daniels has been on and off the field due to a lack of consistency. Each of his first 2 years, he's had games where he's been there as a starter, but it wasn't until that Texas game that Daniels showed why he's the one and only Jayhawks QB1. His efficiency with the ball hadn't been seen in years, and what he lacks for in height, he more than makes up for in mobility, giving Leipold the ability to open up the playbook to more option and design QB runs. This year, so far, that efficiency and effectiveness has been shining more than anything. He's got the 3rd best QBR in the nation, right behind 5-star recruit and future NFL quarterback, Caleb Williams. I mean, I can go on and on about this guy, from his ability to throw across his body to, again, that just effortless mobility, but I don't really think I need to go more into detail about how amazing Jalon Daniels is, but if you're seeing these highlights on screen that he had against West Virginia, you know what I mean when I say this guy is good. And that's not to say that there's no one else on the offense that's balling out. In fact, they've got a ton of straight dudes on this team. The dynamic backfield duo of Daniel Highshaw Jr. and Devin Neal is proving to be the X factor that's allowing Daniels to get open play action plays and running lanes. Each of those 3 has over 100 yards on the ground, and so far the Jayhawks are averaging 7.5 yards per run. And I'd like to attribute that success to a couple of things. 1, they've got multiple options that both keep the defense on their toes and the runner well rested. And 2, by only running their plays in the gun, I figure that Daniels has a better vision of the field and can see if there's like an RPO type play they're running, whether he truly should hand it off or keep it and run or keep it and throw it. From Whitewater to UB and now at Kansas, Leipold has been a champion of the domination of the run game. Just ask Jarrett Patterson. But yeah, don't expect to see that kind of success just go away. And also impressive, Daniels has been able to spread the love through the air as they have 5 guys with 3 or more receptions and 3 guys with at least 85 yards. The defense hasn't been as impressive, but they have a couple of bright spots that I feel deserve a highlight. Lonnie Phelps transferred in from Miami of Ohio, and in their first game, he made an impact known with 3 sacks. And the secondary should be a bright spot going forward, with guys like Craig Young and Kobe Bryant showing their worth in that previous West Virginia game. Now look, I'm saying Kansas is back, but I'm not saying that they don't have anything to improve upon. As we saw Saturday, the tackling needs some work. After coming back from 14 down, West Virginia seemed to have their way when it came to the passing game and the creation of big plays. Tackles were broken, and I know I just said that the Hawks have some potential in the secondary, but they broke down in very crucial plays. And on offense, Daniels got some jitters and mistakes out of his system against Tennessee Tech, but there's always that 1% within me that's fearful of him regressing back to what he was pre-Texas. But even though there are those problems to address, yeah, Kansas is back. Lance Leipold has adapted to the culture surrounding Lawrence and has been able to establish a culture and hype similar to that of the Mark Mangino era. If you're surprised at what the Jayhawks are accomplishing right now, all I've got to say is, just wait until they really get going. Thank y'all for watching.
Just a bunch of dropouts.